Guess how many of those were models? 2 out of 4 of them. That means 2 of them had literally zero modeling experience, this being their first photo shoot ever, right? If you're a more experienced photographer, you could probably tell which ones weren't models and which ones were. You could maybe ask, like, you can kind of see the little details, but for the most part, you couldn't tell, right? So in this video, I'm going to tell you one way to improve your portrait photography. Let's get into it. Hello everyone, my name is Joe. Welcome to the Genes to Joe. And today, like in the intro, we're going to be talking about how to enhance your portrait photography and what is that one secret way to do so. And let's get into it really. That one way is doing photo shoots with people with zero modeling experience. I find that doing photo shoots with professional models is actually so much easier, as they know what they're doing, right? They know how to pose, they know how to do all this type of shit because obviously they have experience. I've done photo shoots with models where I've barely had to direct them in terms of their poses, in terms of the movements that I want. And they just know what they're doing. I didn't have to do any of that stuff and they can just do it just like that. Obviously making my job much easier as a photographer, right? Of course I'll tell them like specific poses or like the look that I'm going for, but overall I could get away with poorly articulating my vision and then still understanding what I mean. Right, like I could literally mumble a bit, or I could be really like vague and really like broad with what I want, and they'll just know what I'm talking about. Obviously, I'm not saying you shouldn't have to articulate your vision to your models, but you can get away with those things if you do shoot with really good models, especially ones with a lot of experience. But if you're starting out as a photographer, I'm guessing you don't have access to those type of models, and that's a good thing. You need to shoot non-models. Right, people like your friends, your family members, people that just don't model, have no modeling experience in the first place. You're probably asking, why would you shoot non-models if it's much easier to shoot models? Exactly, it's much easier to shoot models. So if you shoot non-models, it's going to be very challenging because all those benefits that I just explained earlier about shooting models just goes out the window. Now you can't get away with poorly articulating your vision. You have to really and with the poses, you don't have to really direct them that much. But now, because you're shooting a non-model, you have to be more specific with it. You need to know how to clearly explain the poses you want, the vision that you want. You need to know how to pose in a very good way. So having that experience is obviously going to give you that knowledge that you can apply to your future work in photography with those professional models. You're put in a much more uncomfortable situation as a photographer, which is a good thing. That's how you grow. Now, let's say you took my advice now, and now you got a photo shoot with your mom or your dad or your sister, something like that, right? And they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. They've never modeled before. And let's say they have a very awkward posture / demeanor. They're very like, rigid, very robotic, like in front of a camera, very uncomfortable, which is natural, right? Now that puts all that pressure into your hands to make a good image. Actually, I'll put some photos on the screen now. This is someone that I knew who has never modeled before and was quite awkward in front of a camera, but if you could see in the images, I reposed her well, and you can see that she's really shined there. I made her feel comfortable, and I just knew what poses to do. So I could tell her exactly how to pose. I could tell her, okay, chin up a little bit, side a bit more, all like that, do the pose, and then she looked good. If you look at the images, would you say that, did she look like a model? I don't know, maybe not, maybe yeah. But I think it was one of the best I could do to make her look like a model. But what I'm saying is you have to pay attention to all those little details, because again, because they're non-models, they don't know how to refine those little details on like models can. So you have to look at specific foot placement, specific hand gestures, like where are their hands? If they're doing a pose where only one of their hands is really in action, what are they doing with the other arm? Are they just putting it down to the side like awkwardly? You know what I mean? Like with models, you don't have to really pay attention to that because they just know what to do, right? If you tell them to like do something with their hair, play with their hair in one hand, they can kind of know what to do with the other hand to not make it look awkward, right? But if you do that same thing to a non-model, a person with no modeling experience, they will do the play of the hair and the hand is just like awkward, just like that. In the frame, it looks weird, right? So you have to pay attention to those little things, right? Which is a good thing, again, which is a great thing because you need to know how to pay attention to those small details to create the best images possible. Because at the end of the day, portrait photography isn't just about compositions and lighting, it's also about the model. How does they, pardon me, how do they pose? How good are they at posing? Does it feel natural for them to be there? Do they look very robotic and awkward, or do they look like they've been there before and they look really excited to be there? It isn't just about lighting and compositions. Look at professional photographers, legendary photographers like David Blaine. Blaine? What the fuck? These things seem like nitpicky and very specific, but this shit makes your photos pop, right? If you look at any professional photographer in the past, if you actually see the models, they don't look awkward at all. Like, nothing about them looks awkward. You can say because they're models, but at the same time, they had to pose them correctly. Now you have experience with posing non-models and people that are quite awkward in front of a camera. So when you transition into professional models, it's seamless. It's not stressful at all because you have that experience of knowing how to pose them. If you can pose, if you've had a lot of experience, if you can pose your mom and make her look really good, or your young sister and make her look really good, you could definitely make an attractive professional model look really good. I really doubt you're going to struggle posing actual professional models if you know how to pose your dad and make him look good. I've been complimented a lot on my direction during portrait shoots, and even if it's little things like move your chin up slightly, move to the side a little bit, like learning those little specific things is really just a great thing in your portrait photography. Again, I keep talking about poses and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's not just about knowing how to pose someone, but it's also creating a welcoming environment for the model or the non-model. If you're creating an awkward environment, you're not really speaking, you're quite quiet and timid, they're going to be quiet and timid. You're going to be very sensitive to certain vibes and certain emotions. I've learned that, and I feel like I am too. I feel like when I'm around extroverted people, I'm quite extroverted too. I'm quite loud, I'm quite boisterous like them, right? But if I'm with someone who's more timid, I feel like I'm definitely not an introvert. Like I think I was an introvert, but I've been kind of like slowly creeping out of that phase of being an introvert. Is it a phase? I don't know, but yeah, I've been kind of slowly creeping out of that. I'm more extroverted now, but being around introverts and more people who are quiet people, it kind of makes you more quiet too. Like you kind of naturally just like reserve your energy a little bit because you don't feel like you're overpowering them. You're almost like overpowering them with your amazing vibes. You know what I mean? But if you're, again, back to the portrait photography thing, if you're a photographer and you're really happy, you're really confident, and you're loud, not loud in an annoying way, but you're funny, you're making people laugh, like you're cheering them on, you're making them feel good, right? They're gonna really just like, you're gonna get that energy, and they're gonna absorb your energy, and they're gonna be like that, which you wanna see in the photos. And you can see in the photos when they're like, you can tell if the model on that shoot, if you look at the photos, you can kind of tell that model was quite awkward with it, or that experience was quite awkward for them. Like the photographer was quite awkward, and it was a bit weird. You can kind of tell, right, in the photos. I try to make all my models feel comfortable and everything like that. Again, I'm not like over shouting and yeah, but I'm complimenting them, saying, oh, you look really good, like, oh, that pose, that pose, you're natural, you look really good. Even for non-models, I'm saying stuff like, obviously I've done a lot of shoots with people that I've never modeled before, or really modeled like once or twice, and I just say to them, I make them feel comfortable, like, oh, you look really good in that outfit, you know. I ask them, oh, what's your best side? Oh, I don't know. Complimenting like that, men or women, by the way. I'm not just doing that to like women. I'm not just doing that to like female models, like flirting with them, obviously. I'm doing that to both male and female. The other day I had a photo shoot with a male who's only modeled like once in the past. It was only really because to do with like headshots, getting headshots because he was an actor. I said to him, like, what's your best side? And he said he didn't know. I just said, oh, you look good on both sides, don't worry. You look natural, you look really good. And it made him laugh, it made him like feel more comfortable, and you can see that in the photos. I'll pop up on the screen those photos I took. You can see that in the photos. It's about creating a very comfortable environment for your model so they can really shine within the images. And at the end of the day, you've got a camera pointing at them while they're doing some pose. You need to make them feel comfortable. If they don't feel comfortable, those photos are gonna be shit. I don't care how good your lighting is, how good your compositions are, how good your camera is, what lens you're using. If the model feels awkward as shit and they can't pose because you're awkward as shit, the photos aren't gonna be good. And one way what I like to do to actually make it feel more comfortable is Ask them about their life. Like, oh, what made you get into modeling? Complimenting them. Ask them about questions. Small talk, but also be funny with it, right? You can tell, if you're gonna ask how to make them laugh, right? What if I can't tell you how to make them laugh, but just, I don't know, fucking be a comedian or something, you know what I mean? I don't know, just you don't have to be a comedian to make them laugh, you know what I mean? It's just very simple stuff. Back to the point, if you're shooting non-models, you have to make the experience and environment very comfortable for them to really come out of their shell and to be able to pose, because already they're awkward as shit behind the camera because they've never done it before. You have to make them feel comfortable to get good poses out of them. So when you're shooting actual models, you can do all these skills you have to do with actual models anyway. And you're gonna gain this really good reputation too on top of that as a photographer, because models are gonna love to work with you. They're gonna be like recommending you, like, oh yeah, he was really fun to work with, or she was really fun to work with as a photographer. Yeah, and it is work, it's paid work, or if it's not, whatever. It's paid work, it's a job at the end of the day, it's business. But at the same time, it's like, come on. You know what I mean? Have some fun. It's actually something fun, man. Have fun, it's your passion. Have some fun with it. Actually enjoy the shoots you go on. Make the models have a great experience. Make you have a great experience. The sun, it's beaming out on me again. I'm probably overexposed as shit, probably look like a ghost on the camera, I don't know. That's it for the video. Hope you guys really take this advice seriously and implement it. This is something that not really many people talk about, right? In terms of portrait photography. And I think it's a great little tip to really improve your portrait photography in that way. So if you enjoy this type of videos, I do a lot of photography, filmmaking advice type of videos. Please like, subscribe, comment. Anyway guys, I hope you have a great day. See ya.